Welcome back, Rich Minds. It's your boy Reno coming back to you with another video. Right? And as y'all can see, we on the couch. Coming back to y'all with some couch action, family. But I need y'all to realize something. 7 ways the enemy attacks you. Okay? 7 ways the enemy attacks you. See, what you have to realize is, y'all, the enemy comes at you through the closest people to you, right? See, when the enemy cannot get through to you, what does he do? He comes to those that you have no choice but to be around. He comes to those who are constantly, around you. He comes to those that you love. And so with that being said, you're probably wondering like, man, why mom's acting funny, right? Why my homeboy acting funny, right? Like, why the managers all of a sudden riding me more than everybody else, right? You probably going through that. If y'all are going through that, y'all be sure to drop in the comments and say I'm going through it right now, right? If you're going through that, y'all be sure to drop in the comments and say I'm going through that right now. But the main point, y'all, is you got to be aware of how the enemy is coming at you. He come at you in mysterious ways, right? Just like how God work in mysterious ways, the enemy comes at you in mysterious ways. You got to understand that, family. Okay? He wants to attack you because of where you're headed. He wants to attack you because of what you're accumulating. He wants to stop you, okay, because you're doing good. Like, you're probably on a streak. And when I say a streak, I'm talking about a no smoking streak. Okay? You've been posting videos every day, right? You're being more consistent with your family, with your kids. All right. You're starting to, get more promotions, right? You're starting to see more prosperity come in your life, and the enemy comes to do what, family? To kill, steal, and destroy, right? He wants to kill your joy. He wants to steal your happiness, and he wants to destroy your success. And so he's going to come at you in so many different ways, y'all. So many different ways. And so this right here was a video I had to do. So let's go ahead and get into it, family. Number one is family, right? It's the obvious. Number one is family, okay? And so I'm going to break that down for y'all. I'm talking about mama. I'm talking about daddy, sisters, brothers, cousins, uncles, chickens, dogs, right? I'm talking about everybody who is a part of that family. It can be biological, or it can be people who you grew up with and you actually look at them as family, okay? Some people are adopted, and I understand that. Some people, have been with family or people who is not necessarily their blood, but they look at them as family. So I'm talking about those who you see as family. Listen, y'all, the enemy is going to attack you through them. The reason why is because you wouldn't feel this way if it was a random person. Right? You wouldn't feel this way if it was somebody who you didn't even know, right? Like, you wouldn't feel, harmed. You wouldn't feel bothered. You wouldn't feel hurt if it was somebody you didn't know. So he has to use those that you were closest to. I never forget, y'all, when my own mom told me that she was envious of me, right? She told me that. And let me make this clear, I love my mama to death, right? Like, obviously, that's one of the most important women in my life, the most important woman in my life, right? However, it hurted me to the core. It hurted me to the core to know that my mom was envious of me. And when she told me this, it was a time when I was going through my divorce. So this was the worst time of my life. And she just told me that. I envy you. And I never really understood, but as I continuously grow my platform and grow my following and stuff like that, I realized what she was envious of. And it was my get up, my ambition, my drive, being able to, be sad at one moment, but then get myself back up. People envy that. And I got that from my mom. But that was also a spiritual attack, right? That was a spiritual attack. A weak person would have heard that and tried to dim their own light. A weak person would have heard that and tried to, make do with what they had. Meaning, you know what? I'm going to stay right here. Mom, I just love you so much. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to be better than you. But, y'all, that's false. Just because you're trying to better yourself doesn't mean that you're trying to be better than anybody else. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? You may be going through it with your siblings. Remember, y'all, Cain killed Abel, right? You probably got siblings who are jealous of you, envious of you, just because you decided to start a business, just because you decided to, start your social media platform, just because, you get more praise, throughout the family because you are the good one, all right? And what does the good one mean? The one who stays out of trouble, the one who is intelligible, right? The one who is, more wiser than the other ones, right? You're pretty much more favored. You probably got siblings who hate you, okay, simply because of that. They can't stand when you come back home from college. They can't stand when you come back home, from the military or whatever, right? They just can't wait for the parade to be over with. I never forget, I have family members who was jealous of me and my granddad's, relationship. So basically his sons jealous of me, you know what I'm saying? And I love them guys. Like, those were my heroes coming up. However, y'all, the enemy will utilize them, or was utilizing them to attack me, and they will utilize them to attack you, right? Your family, okay? So you have to understand something, y'all. The enemy is going to use family because these are familiar faces, and this is what gets you, it takes you there, y'all. It sends you there, right? Because you like, man, I love you. What's your problem? Why you acting like this? Ladies and gentlemen, it is spiritual warfare, okay? You got to understand that. Moving on to the next one, y'all, is going to be number 2. That is friends, okay? Friends. And see, outside of family, friends have a great deal of influence on you. I'm going to just be straight up and down with y'all. Friends have a great deal of influence on you. Why is that? It's because y'all probably grew up together. Y'all probably do a lot of things together. Y'all have, shared each other's secrets, okay? They know close and personal things about you. You know close and personal things about them. Y'all have developed a bond, right? Y'all got that bond. And so, what the enemy does is, once he know that you trust them, that's a big word, y'all. Somebody drop in the comments and say trust. Once he know that you trust your friends, okay, this is when he's going to try to utilize them. This is when he's going to take advantage of a situation simply because he know that you have that relationship with your friend, right? So I'm gonna speak to my ladies for a second. Let's just say, you in a relationship, you got you a good man. Right, he a good man. He's faithful to you. He's the type of man who's confident, right? He's in his gift, he's in his purpose. So that means that he probably is not working for no one. Or if he is, he probably got a high position, okay? He's making some decent money, all right? So, and he pretty much take care of you, okay? Well, if you got some lady friends who are unhappy, well, that relationship is going to be very short-lived. I'm going to just be honest with you, sweetheart. The reason why is because your friends are being utilized by the enemy. They being used by the devil, okay? One thing I learned about unhappy people is that they want more unhappy people right along with them. Simple as that, y'all. They want unhappy people right along with them. And so if you are happy and they are unhappy, then you got to know that they're going to try to mess up y'all relationship. You got to know that they're going to try to destroy y'all, separate y'all, because they don't have what you have. And so you got to understand that, right? Again, y'all, this is how the enemy attack you. He gonna attack you through your friends because, let's just be honest, ladies, at some point in time, you want to have you a ladies' night out, right? At some point in time, you want to be able to enjoy yourself without your husband, and the kids. It don't mean that you're trying to cheat. It just means that, you want that me time, without having to do your wifely duties, okay, like you're serving all the time. I understand that. You want to probably, have a good time. This don't mean that you going to the ladies' club, right? You going to a strip club to see Chocolate City. I ain't talking about that. I'm saying maybe you want to have a night out, with your friends, somebody who is reasonable, okay? Somebody who is reasonable, right? Somebody who is respectful. The point of what I'm saying is, if you hanging around with people the opposite of that, oh yeah, you can expect for what you have to go on or what you have going on to be tarnished, right? And on top of that, this is a clear indication that the enemy is working through your friends, okay? Cause all type of problems between you and your man. Fellas, if you got some playboys as your homeboys, well, I can tell you right now, then you probably gonna step out on your woman. I'm gonna tell you straight up and down. Why? Because you got Playboy bunnies, as your homeboy, right? They are going out every other night, okay? They cheating on their wives. They cheating on their girlfriends, okay? I never forget, y'all, I was working with this guy, I don't want to say his name, but he used to be a pastor. He was a preacher, and he would go Sundays and preach the word, right? And then, he would go to, like, because we was doing audio and video work, video production, audio production, and he would go out here to these lounges, and he'll be cooped up with other women. And I was like, hold on, is this guy like a hypocrite, right? And so I finally realized and seen that the enemy can work through anybody. But what I seen at the time, especially when I was married, that I don't need to be working with this guy, right? I don't need to be working with this guy, okay? And so you have to understand something, y'all. Friends can most definitely be a detriment to whatever you have going on. Make sense what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Number 3, your job. Your job. It can be a huge problem, okay? Because let's just say you don't even like the job, okay? So now the enemy know exactly how to come at you. So he really don't even want to be here. She don't even want to be here. She tired of stacking up these papers, right? He tired of stacking up these boxes, right? She tired of being this receptionist or working at the hotel or wherever you work at right now. Tired of it. Well, the enemy is going to bring co-workers in your space, messing with you. Hey, you need to go ahead and get this. Hey, the manager said you need to go ahead and do this. Hey, you need to go ahead and hurry it up because, the line's starting to back up, right? Pushing your patience, right? Pushing your patience. What are you saying right now? That's the enemy on your job. That ain't them people. No, that's spiritual warfare. That's the enemy on your job. When I was stacking boxes at Marshall's, that warehouse job I was telling y'all about, I had a manager, the supervisor, right? The top supervisor, to keep messing with me. I knew it was nothing but the enemy, y'all, because I was listening to like spiritual music, positive speakers and stuff like that. And he just kept messing with me, about getting the light off, right? Mind you, I'm on one of the hardest lines inside the entire warehouse. He don't care about none of that. Get the light off. Go ahead and get the light off, right? And I'm like, man, yo, give me some time. I got you. I went to the bathroom. I didn't care that the boxes was going. I went to the bathroom, right? And so I get back, where you been? Why you ain't tell nobody? It was an emergency. I apologize about that, right? And he just kept messing with me until I finally went off. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, right? I went off, cussing and everything, right? However, y'all, what I realized was that was the enemy. That was the enemy coming at me, right? So he will utilize your job, especially if you don't even want to be there. He can tell by your body language, right? When you wake up in the morning, you probably dread going to that job. You hate it. You can't stand it, right? I will never forget, y'all, those nights and those days, because it's like it started at night. You like, man, I know I got to get up in the morning. And then the closer it get to the morning, and then boom, the next day is here, right? Now you got to go to this job. Now you got to act like you happy. Now you got to bring joy to what you do. And it's very draining. And so the enemy will take advantage of that, and he will use that against you, y'all. Okay, understand that. Your job is another place where the enemy will and can attack you from. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Y'all probably going through it right now. Number 4, your relationship. Oh, yeah, y'all. Your relationship. So when you're talking about a relationship, y'all, everybody inside their relationship is supposed to be on one accord. Everybody's supposed to be equally yoked. Everybody's supposed to be spiritually trained, right? And what I mean by spiritually trained, you got to be aware of spiritual warfare, right? But see, the worst thing that you can deal with is sleeping right next to the enemy. Oh, man, after y'all have sex, the enemy is laying right there. It seemed like as soon as y'all both get y'all, so y'all know what I'm talking about, it's like y'all back to hating each other. It's like, the enemy is starting to show through them, okay? Your relationship is a powerful tool that the enemy will use because they have you emotionally attached, mentally attached, physically attached, financially attached. You are attached to your partner, and if you are in love, he gonna bleed it. He gonna bleed it. Okay, listen, y'all, I will never forget. And when I say relationship, I'm talking about relationship as well as marriage, right? Either one. I would never forget, y'all, when I was married, it would be so many times where the enemy would work against me in my relationship because she wasn't spiritually trained. Okay, she wasn't reading the Bible like that. We wasn't equally yoked. So when I was going through spiritual battles, she couldn't even see it. Right, so it's like I'm in a house by myself. It's like I'm in a ring by myself. It takes two people to fight. You will never see Floyd Mayweather in a ring fighting by himself, right? You need a Oscar De La Hoya. You need a Manny Pacquiao. You need these fighters, okay, to make it an entertaining fight. I was the only one in there fighting. Okay, she wasn't even aware that the devil was using her to attack me. She wasn't even aware, right? It was just like, you just tripping, you're tripping. I'm gonna smoke my weed, I'm gonna smoke my blunt, I'm just gonna go over here with my friends. Ooh, you just getting on my nerves. It was just all these different things, not realizing that it was hurting me, right? Not realizing that it was hurting me. And so you have to get to a point where you say, what? I see you, enemy. You real smart. I see you. And so this is when you have to start detaching yourself from certain people, because the enemy will continuously use them as long as you are around them. See, he can't use them, right, whenever you're not around them. He got to use more people. He got to use other people. Right? And so your relationship, y'all, is something that, the enemy will use. You probably love this person, in love with them too. Okay? But he gonna use them because he know that they are not spiritually trained. Now, let me just say this, y'all, and then we'll move on. Some people are spiritually trained and you can still get tricked. I'm just gonna be honest. This is how crafty and conniving he is, and cunning, okay? Because at the end of the day, if he know that you're spiritually trained, now he got to play on your emotions. So how can I make them feel like the person they have is not who they are, right? So I don't care how spiritually trained, it's going to come to you, and sometimes you can fall victim. But when you are spiritually trained, you'll be able to pick yourself right back up. But the person who is worldly, oh yeah, he going to have a field there with them. Right? So the worst thing you can do, family, is be in a relationship with somebody who look at the world, how the enemy wants them to look at it. They are partaking in the world, lovers of the world. Okay? And so here are you, holier than thou. Here are you, the person who's trying to have morals and principles and respect in the house. You're going to look like you lame. You're going to look like you lame, and you're trying to be better than everybody, and you're trying to drag them down, and the enemy going to play on your partner. I'm just being honest, y'all. Okay? Number 5 is going to be this, y'all. Your kids. Your kids, y'all. I oftentimes I see a lot of people who have done nothing but good, for and to their kids, right? But their kids just find a way to just hate them, right? Did y'all see the documentary on Netflix? It's called What Jennifer Did. Jennifer was an Asian woman, young lady, right? I think she was in her teens, and she got mad at her parents because her parents wouldn't allow her to date this particular guy. He was a drug dealer. They trying to save her, right? She had nice home, okay, privilege, all right. They wasn't rich, but at the end of the day, she didn't have to worry about what she was gonna eat, all right. They always took care of her, according to the documentary. But just because they disapprove of her boyfriend, it's like she lost it and she killed her parents. She killed them. Well, she killed her mom, and she attempted to kill the dad as well, but he ended up living, right? So he ended up living, and to this day, I think he got some type of paperwork to where she can never come around him again. Right? I would have did the same thing too. But the whole point, y'all, is that sometimes your kids can be just as evil. I know nobody want to hear this. I get it. But when you start dealing with disrespectful kids and, kids telling you, you ain't my daddy, you ain't my mama, I don't love you, and you done nothing but being there for them, it'll hurt you to the core. It'll hurt you to the core, right? It was another young lady. Her mom it was twins. Their mom took their phone and they killed her. This is real, y'all. This is not a game. This is real. Your kids can and will kill you. All right? Your kids can, and be jealous of you. Your kids can dislike you just because you said you can't go to the movies. Wow. You gonna kill me because you can't go to the movies? It happens, y'all. So you have to be aware. Now, obviously, y'all, I would love for you, to be able to have a great relationship with your family, friends, kids, job, all that. But unfortunately, we live in a world that is full of sin. Okay, the ground is cursed, and so oftentimes these is going to be the case. All right, these are going to be the scenarios that we face and see. So with that being said, y'all, real story, y'all. The next one is gonna be your mind. Number 6. All right, your mind. The biggest enemy is your inner me, right? The biggest enemy is your inner me. So with that being said, you have to understand that the enemy understands how to play on your mind, right? We always hear it. The devil's playground is an idle mind. That's a fact, y'all. That's not a facade. That's real. So whenever you just sitting down and you just eating potato chips and you just eating your cookie dough ice cream or your butter pecan or cookies and cream, okay, and you eating your cheese puffs, yeah, y'all, the enemy is playing on that. Yeah, get fat. Go ahead, eat it up, get fat. He's playing on you because maybe it's something that just keep rewinding in the back of your head. Right? You probably thought about that time you failed grade school, that time your girl cheated on you, okay? The time that guy did you wrong, okay? Whatever it is that you're thinking about, it just keep replaying back in your head, right? It just keep replaying over and over and over. And so what happens is the enemy will just take advantage of that, and before you know it, y'all, 1 year done went by, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Okay, now you 25. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. All right, now you 30. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, and now you 35, and before you know it, you were 40. Why? Because you allowed the enemy to play on you. And so with that being said, you have to expose the enemy. Somebody drop in the comments and say expose the enemy. You have to expose the enemy, family. All right. Moving on to the next one, y'all, which is the last one, and I made it last for a reason. But number 7, y'all, random people, right? Random people. So I know I said earlier that, the devil don't really care about utilizing random people, and he really don't, right? However, when he's trying to get to you, because the enemy does get desperate, he does, and so he will begin to use random people. So I give y'all an example. I told y'all in the beginning when I was Ubering, I loved it, y'all. I loved it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I loved it. But at the end, when they started taking my rides away, when I started clicking the button, for those who Uber, y'all know when I click the button, it say $30, and then next thing you know, it just take it away. I was like, what? They would stop giving me rides. I'm only making like $50 in a day now. It was terrible. It got bad. So when that started happening, I started hating it, y'all. I just started hating it, right? However, I never forget, when I was in the car and I was driving, I think somebody had them, switched over in the lane, or somebody was driving reckless, and I bumped my horn. Bumped my horn. It was a dude who rolled down the window, face tats, looked like he had a gun on the side. I'm talking about just looked like he was ready for war, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not a scared brother, and I can go. I'm going to be honest with you. However, I value my life. People not fighting no more. People are not trying to real life duel and battle. No, I got something for you. I'm going to end your life right now. Oh, you switch lanes on me? I'm going to kill you right now. I'm not about that life. You got it. I ain't about that life. Right? And so when I seen it, I said, this ain't nothing but the enemy. I ain't did nothing to this brother but just bump my horn. Okay? People are getting killed just for bumping the horn. I'm just being honest, y'all. And so when I seen that, I said, that's nothing but the enemy. I'll give y'all another one. When I was Ubering. Notice, y'all, I have a lot of stories about Ubering because you're constantly dealing with people. The more people you deal with, the more problems you have. Just gonna be honest, y'all. It was this young lady. I picked her up, and she seemed to be very nice, right? She seemed to be very nice. And so when I picked her up, she got in, and that's when it started. Her energy switched. I talked to her on the phone just to let her know that, hey, I'm on the way. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be here, whatever. And she got in my car, that whole act changed. Oh, it was different. Can you hurry up, please? Yeah, can you go faster? I'm like, yo, she's being very obnoxious. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to get you to your destination. And she just was very obnoxious, and I finally got her close to her destination, and then after that, I snapped again. Y'all, and I'm being honest with y'all because I'm a human being, right? At that particular time, I snapped, right? Because I'm the type of person, if you keep poking at me, poking, at some point, I'm gonna, and that's anybody, that's human. But with this particular young lady, she kind of got me there. And I was pissed. I'll never forget. However, I realized that was the enemy. That was the enemy, right? He used a random person, because he already know I don't want to be there. I'm tired of driving. I'm doing like 15, 20 trips a day, only making $140. This is ridiculous. Okay? However, y'all, he used that random person, okay, from the young lady and the other person I just told y'all about, prior. It happens all the time, but understand something, y'all. These are the ways that the enemy will and can attack you, all right? We're going to go ahead and do a recap, and then we'll conclude this video. So, number one, family. That's the number one, y'all. That is the number one, because you've been knowing them for a long time, so you have so much trust and belief in them and love in them, right? Caring them, compassion, and he just used them because he know that you look for their validation. Number two, friends. They next because they have influence over you. They have influence, right? Number three, your job. You have no choice but to be there. This is where you make your money. So he's going to seep in there, okay? Where you spend the most time at. Simple as that. Number four, your relationship, okay? You are in love or you love them deeply, okay? And so he'll try to play against that. This is why y'all both have to be equally yoked. Number five, your kids, right? They can be very ungrateful, obnoxious, right? Just, man, it happens, y'all. It happens, Number six, your mind, right? He plays on your mind. And if you don't have control over that, then you'll be in a bad situation. And number seven, family, random people, right? Random people. It happens all the time, y'all. Y'all already know how we do. If you would like to purchase any one of my books, enroll into my social influence course, or book a one-on-one session with me, you can do so by clicking the link inside my description. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace. What's good, family? It's your boy Reno. Check this out, y'all. I just dropped my social influence course, okay? Where I show you how to build up your social media platform as well as become a self-published author. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? If you want to leverage your expertise, okay, you got to publish your book. But not only that, if you want to get popping and build your community, you got to build up your social media platform. And so I put that all in one course, okay? And so all you got to do is go to the link in my bio, all right? And drop in the comments social influence if you want to build up your social influence. Click that link in the bio and we're going to get you popping. Keep a rich mentality.